So that's it. They they look really good. They're a really good football team. What are the key matchups here? I have three. Packers in the interior offensive line versus their slant looks. The Lions free up their linebackers and they free up kind of into 1v1 blocks. They like to move their defensive tackles. They'll move them. They'll take a step. They'll take one gap. They're not stepping and slanting. That they're not turning their shoulders. None of that. They're taking one hard step and attacking the gap. Okay, so if I'm playing a 2-eye, I'm taking one hard step going to the B gap. If I'm playing a tight 3 or 2, I'm taking one hard step going to the A gap. But they'll do that, and they'll do it they'll do some slant looks as well and bring people off the edge. But they'll do that to disrupt the timing of the double teams, to disrupt the footwork of the guard or tackle, and then obviously to be able to get that linebacker to fire downhill. And now you've got a defensive tackle player who has leverage one side or the other, and you're filling the gap with the linebacker. So they do a really good job with that. You have to be able to find it on film, see the stance, see the setup, anticipate it, and then communicate it with, center, left guard, left tackle, tight end. Everyone's got to be on the same page. So we have hopefully a call for that. So we're bringing everybody if we need to, or just to tell everybody, like, look, refine your footwork right now, because what you're about to see is some sort of slant motion where if you catch them, you're going horizontal, they're not as strong, we can push them back. Number two, the Lions run game versus the Packers run D. Packers giving up 135 yards in the running game. They're getting, I think, 136 yards in the running game. So this is one of those you think, even if you're average, that's not good enough for the Packers. That's 20th in the league, by the way. We're 135 yards, 20th in the league. It's terrible. Like I just showed you, they create huge vertical lanes in the running game. And I think the key to that is the ability to trigger early at the linebacker position. Like trigger early. As soon as you see that handoff, as soon as it looks like something, we got to go, because you got to be able to get that second player off the double team, and you got to be able to attack. The other thing you can do from a defensive tackle's perspective is, as soon as you feel that double, man, you attack the center or the guard or the tackle. You don't just sit there and try to take both on. Lock them out, sit down, and then you try to fall off on the play. But you cannot try to double team. You can't try to take on the double against these guys. They will blow you out of the water. And then the last matchup really is that Sam Laporta, the rookie, versus who's that going to be with our depleted secondary? What's that going to look like? And let's just say the broader receiving group that they have. I mean, right now they look relatively healthy. Just looking on their chart here, Josh Reynolds healthy, Jameson Williams healthy, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Taylor Decker, Antoine Green, Donovan Peoples, Khalif Raymond. Everybody's a go. So we've got a number of people that are potentially out. They look to be full strength. And, oh, by the way, they have both their running backs healthy, and their offensive line is playing super high level. So it's a tough ask. That's gonna be a real difficult matchup, I think. Keys to victory. Let's keep it simple. Turnovers. We just saw some pressure equal picks looks for Goff. Teams who have found success against Detroit make him throw off his back foot. I think we have to win the turnover battle. We might have to win it by 2 or 3. Because I just think inherently they're a much better offense than we are. We need to limit the explosive runs. As good as the offensive line's playing, they're creating holes that you can fall forward for 5, fall forward for 6. We saw that with the Chargers game a couple of weeks ago. You got to make these guys work for everything, right? 30-yard chunks, 40-yard chunks. They speed up the game in a way that is very difficult to mentally keep up with. If you can get a couple 3 and outs, or make them drive from the 20 to the 50 and earn those 30 yards and then punt it away, or earn 40 yards and punt it away, earn 50 yards and get a field goal, but don't give them that many opportunities to score points. If you can hold them to 8 possessions in this game, you're probably feeling pretty good. If they get 14 possessions, it's that's a big problem. Okay, so I would think about it that way. Limit those explosive plays. I think the number one thing that comes down to is, can you tackle when you have to tackle, especially the Jahmyr Gibbs kid. He is really, really good. And then the third thing is Aaron Jones is out. I think we need to simplify a little bit, not change the playbook, except for I think you got to add something that makes Love a running threat, even if just by design, maybe you're not calling his number, but he's got to be a running threat. We got to take advantage of their aggressiveness, especially in the run game. And you see the keep passes and just trying to safeguard with Hutchinson on the edge. You see the option looks with the opportunity to actually run the football up the middle and get 10 yards and get 12 yards and get 4 or whatever it is. And then you see the actual true RPOs. And even with the Bears, you saw like some split flow that you just stopped kind of seeing for a while. With guys running down, see Cole Kmet doing his alligator roll. It's pathetic, but like you see those plays being effective. And what happens is they kind of go out of vogue. And you just don't watch in the last 4 weeks. You don't see that many teams running those plays as much. There's always these wrinkles now. It's like, don't forget, it was a wrinkle of that play. So we can go back and keep running the base stuff. Keep it simple, high levels of execution, short week. And, the most important thing is you go in as healthy as possible, feeling really good about your game plan and be able to let loose. And the only way you can let loose if it's like, we're not going to put in a bunch of new plays and you're going to try to learn on Tuesday and you're going to, travel on Wednesday and play on Thursday. So hopefully they put themselves in a position where they just feel really good about the small package that they have already. They're really studying how to win their individual matchups. And when you get out there on Thursday, you're going for the turducken or whatever they use now. John Madden had the turducken, which was phenomenal. Tasted pretty good, by the way. And that's it. There'll be a bunch of games. This will be one of them. I think this is one. This one's at noon. The Lions are by 8. This is a really hard. These guys are playing really high level. You look back at you look back at the 8-2 first of all. But here's what you never take into account of, and we saw this with Aaron maybe last year in Detroit. You never know what's going to happen in a division game. You saw it last week with Chicago. Like that game shouldn't be that close. They had to come back. They had to score 2 in the last 4 minutes. And these are the opportunities that this young Packers team, these young receivers, young tight ends, young quarterback, young offensive line to some extent, young players in the secondary that are filling in. These are the opportunities where literally the entire country is watching you. It's time to show out. It's going to be a raucous crowd there at Ford Field. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think Jack Harlow's playing at halftime. I'll be watching. Jack Harlow fan, full disclosure. And you don't get a lot of chances like this. So take advantage of the moment. Take advantage of the opportunity. And 8 points, guys. That's an absolute slap in the face. So everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. For those of you that have kind of faithfully watched this show, I really enjoy doing this show. I love keeping up with football. I love talking about it. I hope that it is informative. I know it's a different style than a lot of shows for sure. I should probably do a lot of other things better than I do this particular format. But this is what is kind of interesting to me, and I'm a little bit selfish that way. So I hope you're enjoying it. Please keep coming with the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe, rate, review us. If you want to see something, let me know. Always hit me with listener questions. I'll try to get to them. Have a great Thanksgiving. We're deep frying a turkey, smoking some ribs. Going to be amazing. Talk to you soon, guys.